It's Monday, April 15th, 2024. So much to talk about today. So much happening. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, quick reminder, Texas Silver will have part 3 of Bill Holter on his show today. So make sure you go over to Texas Silver, check out the show. Special guest Bill Holter. The last 2 interviews have been very, very interesting, very eye-opening. So make sure you check out part 3 today and give Aaron over there at Texas Silver a little bit of love. Let's talk about what happened today. Dow Jones down about 250, NASDAQ down 290. Markets were actually up earlier in the day and then did a 180. 10-year bond yield, 4.61. It was over 4.64 earlier. Gold up another $25, sitting right at $2,400. Silver up 62 cents, sitting very, very close to $29. Oil unchanged at 85.41, which kind of surprised me a bit with everything happening in the Middle East. You would think that oil would be rising, but it is rising at the gas pump. I can tell you that. Putting gas in the car today, gas prices are going way up. Now, a few articles I want to share with all of you today, and I could probably share more, but I jotted down a bunch of notes, ran out of ink. There's so much going on. But this first one from The Hedge: Americans pour into pawn shops selling gold jewelry as prices surge. Do you know anybody doing this? Comment down below. It says here, people are using gold as an ATM they never had, said King Gold and Pawn and Empire Gold Buyers owner Gene Furman. He says gold selling has more than tripled at his stores, and they're buying it all. He says right now people need cash. And what people are doing is they're selling jewelry they don't wear, maybe jewelry that they inherited from their grandmother, their grandfather, stuff that they're not going to wear, stuff that they can sell to the pawn shops. And what are they using the money for? They're using it for food and gasoline. Food and gasoline and probably rent and most other essentials. At the same time, what are we seeing? We're seeing Costco selling $200 million a month in gold bars. So it's interesting. You have people running to the pawn shops to sell gold, and you have people running to Costco buying gold. So very interesting what is taking place. Obviously, the people running to the pawn shops need the money. They're broke. The only reason you'd be selling gold right now is because you need the cash, the money. And you know, it's interesting that people will say you can't eat gold. You can't eat gold. Well, apparently you can, because people are running to the pawn shops with a very liquid asset. They're getting cash money. They're walking out and they're going right to the grocery store and buying food. So apparently you can eat gold because it's extremely liquid and you can convert it into cash and go buy food. And that's what people are doing with it. And again, people are buying $200 million a month in gold bars at Costco. This is unlike anything we've ever seen before. But who's the real big buyers here? It's the central banks. Most Americans are not buying gold. They have no idea what an ounce of gold costs today. You know, a handful of people going to Costco, yes, but that's 1% of the population that is doing that. Most people are just looking, how fast they can sell it, get cash, and pay their bills. But the big buyer is the central banks of the globe. And they're going to continue to push these prices up. I don't know how high it's going, but the higher it goes, the worse it's going to be out there, ladies and gentlemen. Boston market reportedly in its final days. So what's happening? Very sad story. You know, back in the 90s, you would see these Boston markets all over the place. The rotisserie chicken restaurant. Now, likely in its last days. At one time, they had 1,000 restaurants. Today, they have 27 left. 27 restaurants out of 1,000. They owe over $1 million to food vendor U.S. Foods. They've racked up lawsuits from unpaid wages to overdue rent. And I'm thinking, if they're not paying the rent, how many other restaurants are not paying their rent? But the last 27 Boston markets are in their final days. It's going to be more vacant buildings, more people losing their jobs. And, I get no satisfaction making these videos. I know people make these videos and they laugh and they giggle and they think it's fun and that, everybody's going to go out and buy something on sale, like a house or an RV or a boat, and it's just going to be good times. But they don't think about the people that are going to be losing their cars, losing their houses, the banks that are going to implode from all these bad loans, the chaos we're going to see in this country because of it. They don't understand that. People, too many people look at what's happening just from a financial viewpoint, not a social viewpoint. And you're going to see society really break down. And when people get hungry and they get desperate, they do things like steal. They commit crimes. They do things that they would not normally do. And we're going to see more of that. And we're going to see a very chaotic society, which you're already seeing the beginning of. And if you think it's bad now, wait till you see what's coming. Here's another one from CNBC. Tesla will lay off more than 10% of global workforce. Stock down over 5% today. Their stock is down over 31% year to date. A lot of people bought homes in Austin, Texas because Tesla went there. How many of those people are going to get their wages cut, their hours cut, or lose their jobs entirely? And then how do they keep their houses? You know, we saw these housing booms all over the country because, you know, one company moved here and another company moved in this area and Tesla moved over there. What happens now as the economy slows down and these companies like Tesla begin laying off? What happens to these big housing boom areas that everybody bought into because they had jobs? What happens when the jobs disappear? You know exactly what's going to happen. These people are going to lose their homes. Tesla tells Cybertruck employees that shifts will be shorter at Austin Gigafactory. Prime example right here, this on Yahoo Finance today. Shorter hours equals a smaller paycheck. And this is a bad time to have a smaller paycheck. You've got inflation, you've got food going up, property taxes are going up, property insurance is going up, utilities go up, you name it, everything's going up, and your paycheck is shrinking. It's getting smaller while the bills are getting bigger. And here you go, right here, the Austin Gigafactory, right here on Yahoo News. They're gonna cut people's shifts. They're going to be shorter. So if you work 40 hours a week, maybe you're going to work 30 hours a week. This is going to really be a problem for a lot of people. Here's another one today. Ann Arbor Public Schools community frustrated over $25 million deficit. Teacher layoffs approved. I'm sure many of these teachers own homes, have cars, pay bills. Now what do you do when you don't have a job? And if you have a decent job right now, think about the reality of trying to replace that job in this economy. I mean, the news is absolutely horrific. Here's another one. I don't know how you pronounce this. Utah, E-U-T-A-W. I'm going to say Utah or Utah. Alabama reduces working hours for city employees. I'm sorry I butchered that name. The Alabama city is in central Alabama, and they say that they're having to make some difficult decisions on the situations that they're facing now with this huge deficit. So more layoffs coming, or work hours being shortened. Smaller paycheck, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, it always starts with, hey, we're going to have to cut your hours, but you know what follows. You lose your job. So you go from 40 hours a week to 35 to 30, then the layoffs begin. This is just the beginning. California health workers face cuts in hours benefits under $25 wage law. Nearly 500,000 health workers stand to benefit from California's nation-leading $25 minimum wage law. These people could be in a very, very rude awakening very, very soon. Hospitals and healthcare providers may follow through with cuts to hours. Everybody's cutting hours. They're going to cut benefits, and even worse, they're talking layoffs. So all this greed where these low-wage jobs now, demanding $25 to work in fast food in California at the restaurant that has 60 restaurants plus a chain. They're now, by law, they have to pay $20 an hour. And here, with this $25 minimum wage law for health workers, I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You're seeing restaurants close now because of the minimum $20 minimum wage. And with this $25 minimum wage in healthcare, you're going to see healthcare providers close down. Hospitals will close down. People are just going to lose their jobs. They're going to cut benefits. They're going to cut hours. I mean, this is just not going to end well. It is a mess, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a mess. Here's one from The Hedge a couple days ago. Over 1,300 layoffs hit logistics companies across U.S. Layoffs continue across the U.S. In the freight and logistics industry, with companies in Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Michigan, and Texas announcing job reductions and facility closures over the past 2 weeks. Universal Logistics, they're going to lay off 677 employees. Swissport Cargo laying off 235. The Kroger Company, 230 gone. RXO Logistics laying off 114. Nosco Inc. laying off 51. Ryder Integrated Logistics laying off 29 in Romeoville, Illinois. The list goes on and on. So nobody's safe. Nobody's immune. I hope everybody is preparing for the worst case scenario that you or possibly a spouse could lose a job. How long can you hang on? How long can you keep the house? Do you have 6 to 12 months put away? If you or a spouse lost a job today, could you keep the house? Could you keep making both car payments? Could you keep the kids in private school? Can you continue to make the payments on the credit cards, the utilities, the food, all that? Most people probably could not. I think that, if any advice I could give today would be to downsize the best that you can right now. Get as far out of debt that you can right now. If you make 100 grand a year, live like you're making 50. If you can live like you're making 30 grand, do that. I would do everything right now to save every dime I make after I have to pay all the taxes. But I would do as much as I could to save as much as I could, buy some silver, put some cash away, and just hold on and let this thing play out. We are going to have a very, very bumpy ride. Gallup, Americans sleeping less, more stress. 57% said that they would feel better if they got more sleep. But why are they not sleeping? Because they're stressed out. Why are they stressed out? Because they are living not just paycheck to paycheck now. People literally are living day to day. They can't even hang on to the paycheck. That's why they're going to the pawn shops, because they need money today. They can't wait till Friday for the paycheck. People are so far behind. This is just not good news. And think about how important it is to get a good night's sleep. It's so important for your health. Sleep is one of the best things you can do for your health. And when people begin to get stressed out, they're losing sleep, they get sick. Stress is a killer. Stress leads to a lot of diseases. Stress is something you do not want in your life. But unfortunately, more and more people are going to be stressed out. More and more people right now are losing sleep. They cannot sleep at night. They're turning over, just thinking about what they're going to do, how they're going to get out of this mess. How are they going to feed their kids? How are they going to make the car payment, the rent payment, the house payment? Home insurance just went up. Health insurance just went up. Gas is $5 a gallon. I mean, I really feel for people. I really, really do. And again, when I make these videos, I don't sit here and laugh and giggle that people are stressed out and they're losing their cars, they're losing their jobs, they're losing their houses. There's nothing funny about it. This is very, very serious what is taking place. And this is going to change a lot of people's lives. And unfortunately, when you look at alcoholism and drug abuse and domestic violence and suicide and all these things, a lot of it is connected to the economy and what's happening financially in people's households. So it is just what it is, ladies and gentlemen. And these things are now knocking at the door. Things that we were talking about years ago now are coming to fruition. Nobody had a crystal ball. I didn't. You didn't. I'm not a prophet. You're not a prophet. Maybe you are. But I know I'm not. But I'm just somebody that was just connecting the dots like most of you who could see that stores were closing years ago, that we were going deeper in debt as a country. The deficits were getting bigger. And that, we had a stock market that was being completely pumped up by, monopoly money. And then, of course, the injection of trillions of dollars into the economy. So you could see that somewhere down the road, and even back to 2008, that was never fixed. So at some point we were going to have to deal with some serious pain, and now it's knocking at the door. Massive financial strain. New report exposes horrifying situation. This on the Hedge today. And just what I was saying here, you cannot expect to add 41% of the money supply in 4 years and not expect things to go bad. And that's exactly what we did. I mean, you cannot even make this stuff up. We have printed so much money. It's shocking that things aren't worse than they are, but they're probably going to get a lot worse. Housing has become so burdensome in America that some families can no longer afford other essentials, including food and medical care. At the same time, they're working 3 jobs. Some people are working 4 jobs. They're working overtime, and they're asking other people to lend them money. Have you had anybody ask you for money? Comment down below. I want to know. I know over a year ago, people were writing me and telling me how many people were asking them for money. Has anybody asked you? If you had friends or a family member ask you for money, I'd love to know. Nearly 1 in 5 renters reported skipping meals to afford housing. All I can say is inflation-proof your savings if you have any. Don't keep it all in cash. I do believe that gold and silver have a long way to go. There will be pullbacks, no doubt about it. But it's a bit funny that, a year, 2 years ago, 6 months ago, how people would tell me that I'm misleading this audience by telling them to buy gold and silver. And if you've been buying gold and silver since I've been making these videos, you did very, very well. You lost 0 money. You did very, very well. You have definitely outpaced inflation. There's no doubt about that. And you have something that's physical that you can get to very, very quickly, that you can take anywhere in the world. It's extremely liquid, and you can buy food, you can buy real estate, you can do whatever you want to do. It's real money. But the doomers out there, the trolls who are now hiding in their little holes, that said, gold's going to go to 800, silver's going to go $8. Why would you buy this garbage? I'm misleading everybody. And I said, well, you can do what you want to do. You can buy whatever you want to buy, but I'm going to keep buying gold. I'm going to keep buying silver. And as times get more uncertain, as there's more chaos throughout the world, these 2 assets with a 5,000-year history seem to be doing okay. When things in the economy do begin to really blow up, when these super bubbles blow up, there is really no telling what metals will be worth, and will we even consider taking cash for these metals, or will it be other assets? Would you take dollar bills for an ounce of gold or silver, or will you be trading other assets? Would you be trading land? Will you be trading real estate for ounces? It's very, very possible. I don't think most people are going to be taking cash for these things. They're going to want something else. But there is no telling, there's no limit to where this can go. Honestly, I really pray that everything in the Middle East calms down, Eastern Europe calms down, Taiwan calms down, gold goes back to $1,500 an ounce, silver goes back to, $15 an ounce, whatever, and things just calm down. You have to realize that the higher the price goes on these metals, the more dangerous the world is getting, and the more chaotic things are getting. These 2 metals are a barometer, especially gold. It is a barometer to the health of the global economy, the U.S. economy, the health to our society, and the higher it goes, the more chaotic things are getting. So remember that. Here's another one today from The Hedge. CNN is wrong. Deflation is a good thing. I agree. deflation is a very, very good thing. It says here, CNN states that lower prices are bad for the U.S. economy and that consumers must get used to the new higher prices. The video goes on as far to say that we're never going to pay 2019 prices again. That's probably true, but I don't think that deflation is bad. Why would you want to pay more for something? I would want to pay less for something. The conclusion that inflation is a good thing is simply reached by the mishandling of the economy. As we said earlier, you know, when you add 41% of the money supply in 4 years, or $7 trillion in 30 months, that's a bad thing, and that is causing massive inflation. If we did not do that, prices today would not be where they're at. Wouldn't you want more purchasing power versus less purchasing power? Wouldn't the average person be better off if their grocery bill was $100 versus $200? I mean, think about that. But no, CNN here, and I completely disagree. They believe that inflation is good and that deflation is bad. What do you think about that? Comment down below. Love to know your thoughts on that. Here's another one, and I'll finish with this one coming from the economic collapse. What will Israel do now? Are they going to listen to the United States and calm everything down, or are they going to retaliate 10 times from what just happened to them? I think that Israel will retaliate. I think it will be a very brutal retaliation. I could be wrong. The United States is telling them to calm down and to pull it back so that we don't get into a massive war. But I don't know if Israel is going to listen. I don't know. This is a tough one, but I do think that there is going to be retaliation. What are your thoughts on that? And does the retaliation lead to something bigger? I think it will. I think it will. I think that, honestly, if Israel does not retaliate, they're going to look weak. So I think they have to do something, and then the ball is back in Iran's hands. And what will they do? This could get very, very, very ugly, ladies and gentlemen. It already has. And I feel bad for all the people in between this. There's a lot of innocent people on both sides. I wish and pray that cooler heads prevail and things de-escalate immediately. We have too much fighting going on across the world, and if this thing does get out of control, we are going to be looking at World War III. And the Gen Zers are going to keep Googling if they're going to be drafted. People will get drafted. This could get really, really intense. And as I leave you today, this country, the United States of America, is not prepared for war. It is not prepared to deal with the consequences or the financial bill for this. Where's the money going to come from? We are a bankrupt nation, and we're talking about World War III. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. How in the world can you even fathom going to war when you are broke and bankrupt? Our cities are falling apart. Our people are falling apart. The U.S. economy falling apart. We don't even manufacture hardly anything in this country, and we're going to go to war? Give me a break. Have you looked at the condition, the physical condition of the people of the United States of America, especially young people? Too many people addicted to pharmaceuticals. Too many people are obese. We have too much mental illness. This is, look, I'm not here to criticize or judge. These are purely observations. We as a society, a people, we are not prepared for this. We're broke. Morally, we're falling apart. Physically, we are falling apart. There is no way in hell we will have any success at this. We have nothing to win here, only to lose. We will lose our country if we think we're going to get involved in a world war with China, Iran, and Russia. I mean, give me a break. I'm going to leave it there today. Comment down below. Please like, share, subscribe. God bless all of you. Be safe out there.